You know, we've got a problem. Normally I'm coming to you from the fish room. Today I'm coming to you live, well, recorded at some point from the corner of our living room. You see, Joanna did this tank at Aquaclear. It's awesome. I love the tank. I love the scape. It's starting to fill in, and she's got more plants that she's going to be adding pretty soon. There's just one small big problem. And that small big problem is this right here. Now this is a great filter. This is an Oaza filter. It came with the tank, but long term, it's about as large as the tank itself. It's a little bit oversized, and the flow, well, it's pretty strong. And so in today's video, I am going to be showing you a better solution for this tank, and one you should consider if you've got a smaller tank, and especially if you've got a smaller tank that you really want to look nice. Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and yes, we have a problem. And the problem, of course, is this filter. Not the filter itself, it's a great filter, just way too large for the tank. And the way we're going to solve this problem is this, the Aquaclear 20. Now, I'm not only going to talk about the Aquaclear 20, but why I chose this filter for this tank, which is a 7.5 gallon. Did a lot of research, and what I found was this filter was probably the one that was going to fit this tank the best. Now, a couple things from the start. The Aquaclear 20, this thing is going to pump out about 100 gallons per hour, which is pretty sufficient for a 7.5 gallon tank. Actually, that's way too much water for this, and we're not going to be in a whole lot better shape than the filter we have here. Now, let me go ahead and show you the actual filter, which I've already unboxed for your convenience. This is the Aquaclear 20. The reason I chose this filter, well, we got a couple reasons. Reason number one, check this out. I don't know if you can really see, but it's going to be considerably smaller than the hang-on side filter that's in there now. And in fact, we might even be able to hang this one on the back, which is going to make this situation appear a lot nicer. The second thing, it is smaller. Now, some of you who've watched our videos for a while know there are actually two features I really love in an aquarium filter, and one of the major features this thing doesn't have, but for this tank, it's okay. Feature number one, which I absolutely want on a hang-on back filter, and the Aquaclear 20 has that, is an adjustable flow. You take this little knob and you can turn it back and forth, and I'll show you this with the filter on the tank, but this is going to adjust the flow so that it's more appropriate for this size tank. Now, this flow adjustment isn't as good as some of the others that are on the market, but it's going to be more than sufficient. The second thing I usually want on a hang-on back filter, and this doesn't have it, is a motor, an impeller, that's not hanging outside of the water, but it's actually connected to the intake in the water. Normally, that's a really great thing and something I require because it's going to keep the filter very, very silent, and the filters are usually self-priming, which means you don't have to fill up the back of the filter compartment to get the thing to run. It also means that the power cuts out. Usually an internal motor is just going to suck the water right back in. There's no chance of it really stalling out on you. However, with this particular tank, I like the Aquaclear 20 better. First thing you should know about this thing is it's going to pump out about 100 gallons per hour, but we're going to adjust that down probably to about half that so that we're not doing crazy flow in this tank. After all, we've got a yellow honey gourami in there, and it doesn't like really strong flow. Second thing you want to know about this filter is it's around $36 on Amazon right now. By the way, we'll have an Amazon affiliate link down in the description below if you want to try this out for one of your smaller tanks. At 100 gallons per hour, the reason why they call it an Aquaclear 20 is this thing's good for about up to a 20-gallon tank. I would say I would be very comfortable at least 10 to 15 gallons. 20 gallons is a little bit of a stretch, but it's still very possible. It's going to be turning over a 20-gallon at least 5 times an hour, and that's not too bad. Third reason I chose the Aquaclear 20 is in this category with this size filter, this is one of the most highly rated filters out there. It's been around forever. Those of you who've been watching the channel for a while know I like the Seachem titles. I like the Marineland Pros, but the Seachem doesn't make a filter appropriate for this size tank. In the Marineland Pros, the smaller ones, they actually have the internal motor like I like, but we're going to be dealing with a tank that is highly aquascaped. It's supposed to look, well, like a highly aquascaped tank at some point, and I don't want that big bulky motor inside the tank where it's going to be visible. Thus, this is the perfect fit. The other thing that a lot of people like about the Aquaclear 20, as I pull off the lid, it has basically a very easy way to customize the hang-on back. Now, all hang-on back filters are customizable. You can put whatever you want in them, but this makes it a little bit easier because it's got this basket. Now, I want to show you, besides the filter, what comes with the Aquaclear 20. Let me set this down, and hopefully it doesn't land on the floor. So with the Aquaclear 20, we also get this box, and this box has some important things. It's got your media. Now, Aquaclears typically come with the filter sponge. I like to put this at the very bottom of that basket. I'll show you that in a second. The other things it comes with is a filter bag, because you get activated carbon. Now, I don't use activated carbon in any of my tanks, so I don't use chemical filtration. If you want this for maybe reducing smells or removing certain chemicals from water, by all means, you can add that. And then we have some biomedia, and that's what the filter bag is for, because of biomedia. Rinse it off, goes in the filter bag, tie it shut, and that goes into the compartment itself. So let me bring the filter back here for a second. Again, here's our compartment. The way this would typically lie is you're going to put your sponge in first, and that's going to catch a lot of your debris. Now, if you were going to do the other two types of media, typically what we would do is we would put the biomedia in the bio bag. That would go in next, and then that activated carbon would go on top. However, I'm a little strange. I don't use the carbon, and I actually never use the biomedia either. I prefer my hang-on back filters to do a lot more mechanical filtration, and the sponge itself is going to house a lot of beneficial bacteria. So how am I going to be utilizing this basket here? Sponge first, and then I'm going to take some of the bulk filter floss that I buy. By the way, if you're not buying bulk filter floss for your hang-on back filters, regardless of which type you have, check out the Amazon affiliate link. This stuff is way cheaper than buying the filter cartridges at the pet stores. Again, it doesn't matter what hang-on back filter you have. You can put bulk filter floss in any of them. So I'm just going to fold this up, and I'm going to place this in here just like so. And then this whole thing is going to go right back in the compartment. And between the sponge, hopefully I can get this back in here. There we go. Between the sponge and the filter floss, this is going to do a great job of mechanical filtration. You're going to have plenty of biological filtration as well. Now, let's go see what it looks like on the tank. Okay, so before I continue, I should mention that the Oaza also has the ability to adjust the flow. It's just that filter was a little bit larger than what we needed, and it wasn't going to fit on the back of the tank given how long its intake was and how large it was. So here you can see the Aquaclear. Now you're going to notice something, and that something is, you see that brown nasty stuff? That is the used filter media from the old filter, and so we don't have to worry as much about a potential ammonia spike. This tank is fairly well established with microbes in the tank as well as in the filter media, which is certainly going to help. Now I left the lid off just so you can see the water flow. Now you can see right here, my big old hand isn't in the way. We can adjust the flow, so we're going to turn this down. So I turned it to the right, and look at, now the flow is much, much less than it was before, and that's going to be a little bit more appropriate. Now I can turn it a little bit here, and the intake is going to be a little bit more over the impeller, and that's going to increase the flow a little bit. But again, this is a nice small package. You can see here that it's not going to take up a lot of room. Now I'm going to go ahead and scroll back and show you the entire tank. Now to me, this looks a lot nicer. We have a filter that's appropriately sized for the tank. And the Oaza filter is fine. It's a nice filter. We've got them downstairs, but it was just too large for this aquarium. This one fits nicer. There's nothing on the side of the tank anymore, and we can adjust the flow, really get that going. Now, of course, we got a little bit of leaf litter floating around here because when I pulled the other filter out, some of it was connected to the intake. Thus, that's the issue there. But this is a great filter. So what I'm going to do is what I always do. I'm going to let this thing run for about 6 months. I'll give you a long-term update on this. Again, if you're looking for this filter, check it out, Amazon. I've got the affiliate link down in the description below, as well as the affiliate link for the filter floss. If you want to try that, save a ton of money. If you are looking for this, again, 36 bucks. It's a little bit on the higher side for the size, but again, it's a really nice fit for this aquarium. So appreciate you watching, and we'll see you soon.